Fresh squeeze takes, rest of the playoffs. Here we go. Cleveland does not rock. Shout out Ben for the title. Puntastic. Drew Carey can't save him. Nobody can save him. Does tee up LeBron back in a non-front running way, though, on the perfect table if he's willing to take a pay cut. Conversation for another day. Just some quick numbers, Sean, I'll throw it to you. Cavs, 1-seed disappointment, the last team to win 77.5% of their regular season games or 62-plus wins and not make the conference finals was the Suns in 2022. Prior to that, though, a lot longer of a break. Mavs in 2007, the famous Baron Davis 1-seed, 8-seed Warriors matchup. That was an all-time game series we all remember. 22 of the 30 teams in the league history win at least this number, 62 games, make the finals, and 18 of those 22 won it all. Where do you put this Cleveland falling up short moment here? Hashtag let them know. Donovan hasn't gotten to the conference finals. I give him a little bit of an out, even though I was down on him. I didn't expect him to go anywhere. No Garland with the toe. I'm an Antonio Gates guy. I know what a toe injury what does to a top-tier athlete.
I'm a Joakim Noah guy, the plantar fasciitis.
That's right.
The feet and the toes is tough.
Garland didn't look right. But, yeah, do you give him an out? Do you – overall, Cleveland here. I know you were high on him, not quite the Thunder.
I picked them to win the East.
But with Garland and Mobley not banged up.
But
that's a big matzo ball.
It is tough that, two of your big three –
in two games.
Down. But Jared Allen the last two games had 6 rebounds.
I was thinking that. He drives me ballistic.
Unacceptable. Now, you actually, to your credit, brought this up. 3 years ago, Donovan comes to town. If we go all the way back in the time machine, before there was beyond conversations about Donovan Mitchell getting out of Cleveland. He doesn't want to be there.
Yeah.
It's not going to work. He's going to leave. Signs the extension. We've seen that before, too.
Didn't he get Bickerstaff out of there? That's what I heard rumors of. He asked for Bickerstaff to get out.
But you go back to the Knicks 3 years ago. You go back to the Knicks Cavs series. Knicks bullied him. Dusted him off.
Yeah.
Mobley, you're not ready. Jared Allen, you're soft. You're not ready. We're going to bang you guys around, and the Knicks took care of business relatively easily.
Yeah.
No resistance.
At all.
2 years later, we are where we are now in the playoffs. I thought that Cleveland Cavaliers team didn't exist anymore. I thought they had toughened up.
Kenny?
I thought they were better offensively, which they were. They were the best offensive team in the league from tape to tape. They were deep. They made the final move to bring in DeAndre Hunter. Move Niang and LeVert out. Ty Jerome's playing really well. They put away the Miami Heat to the point where, myself included, I'm still asking a lot of questions about the Miami Heat and what's really going on over there. When are they going to start getting put to the fire for not doing too much outside of Jimmy Butler going ballistic and carrying them on a couple of runs? When are we going to talk about the Miami Heat being extremely mediocre in a mediocre Let's be clear about the East. It's a mediocre conference. They should be the fourth right behind the New York Knicks annually.
Yeah.
They have the best coach in the world, right? Heat culture, right? Bam is an all-star, right? Tyler Hero's now an all-star. They've been underperforming for years, but I don't even know why we're talking about that. But Cavs put them away. I'm like, this is a different team. They're going to be ready to go. They got bullied by the Pacers. Pacers tougher. The Pacers played how they wanted to play. Not at any point in the series did it look like the Pacers weren't playing their style, didn't feel like they had to change anything they were doing. From game one, Jump Street, they went into Cleveland, played exactly how they wanted to play, and dusted them off.
Is it more about the Pacers and how well they're clicking and less about Cleveland blowing it? It kind of remains to be seen because we don't know what the Pacers have in store, but not many people had them smoking them off in 5. That's
Nobody did.
Nobody did. And a couple breaks, you miss a free throw, it falls in Halliburton's hand, he hits a game winner. I mean, it should still be 3-2 type spiel. But yeah, I mean that's that thing where it's like, all right, yeah, Cleveland, maybe they were due to lay an egg because it's Cleveland and very Cleveland-esque in some regards based off, certain Cleveland sports if you back. But then I also think this could have been a coming out party for the Indiana Pacers.
I bet, man. They're in the conference finals 2 straight years. It's hard to argue that. Did they get fortunate with injuries against the Knicks? No question last year. They were down 2-0. OG goes down. Brunson gets hurt down the stretch. They just completely ran out of gas, the New York Knicks. This year, Garland doesn't play in game 1 or 2. Mobley then doesn't play in 2. They still do what they have to do and get the win, at the buzzer or not. And then it's hard to give guys excuses in the playoffs. Garland is reported as playing with like an insert in his shoe. He hasn't looked right. He didn't look right the whole time. So
0-3 at home is unacceptable, though.
They lost to the Pacers the last 5 times in Cleveland. That team gives them trouble. They couldn't get over it, but even so, with Mobley at 70%, with Garland at 60%, Allen, Donovan Mitchell, and how deep that squad was, they should have put up a better fight. They were getting beat up, dusted off, and the Pacers were having absolutely no issues with doing what they wanted to do.
Yeah.
You and the playoffs, and in sports in general, it's about making grown men do things against their will. Playing in styles they don't want to play in. Beating people up. The Pacers were comfortable the entire series. Cleveland didn't make them change up anything they were doing.
Is there anything with the Pacers' second unit doesn't get nearly enough credit? That experience from last year's run. I mean, you look at Ty Jerome, DeAndre Hunter. Those were the dudes when Garland gets hurt, Mobley's down, and Allen's not rebounding that you look at, and they didn't give you enough at all. Hunter didn't give me nothing. Jerome looked. I mean, they weren't even going with him in 1 or 2 of those games. I guess he's young. Sure, you maybe give him a little bit out there, but you spoke on the depth, though. What's disappointing is you did make good observations throughout the year of their depth. It should, on paper, because Indy's so deep, be depth for depth. It just didn't work out like that.
Yeah, and what's always wins out is continuity. And if you read off the roster of the Pacers team from this year to last year, it's damn near the same roster. I'm talking about 8 or 9 guys.
Except for Isaiah Jackson.
Isaiah Jackson. Where's Isaiah Jackson, Pete? Dude, I'd take him on the New York Knicks. I'm telling you now. Listen, Halliburton, Nesmith, Nembhard, Benedict Mathurin, Miles Turner, Obi Toppin,
It's ridiculous.
McConnell,
of course, Allie. Siakam.
all those dudes are on the team last year.
Jackson's out with a torn Achilles for the year. Poor guy.
He's on the squad. Yeah, but he's all right.
Good thing. Not good thing. I shouldn't have said that. Not good thing, but the inside joke with me and Monaco to explain why I said good thing is because I really believe in Isaiah Jackson's game. I think he's actually very impactful and doesn't get enough minutes. Hopefully he comes back from the Achilles and does well. But there were stretches last year versus the Knicks. He killed the Knicks. No one talks about it except me. Yeah. So that's the inside joke on Isaiah Jackson. But continuity is always going to win out, man. That's why Boston was so dangerous. That's why they're still dangerous. The Pacers are extremely dangerous because they legitimately have the same coach and the same 9 guys back in the same exact position, playing the same exact style, hearing the same exact voices. That's why when we talk about football and young quarterbacks you're literally hearing a different guy's voice in your helmet. He has different tendencies. He has different things he likes to do. You have to relearn all that stuff. So all that stuff matters. The Pacers, they all probably live in the same house too. You know what I mean? It's all the same. So that's why I think it's a big thing. We underestimated the Pacers.
Yeah, last question for you. Where do you put Carlisle on the coaches left in this year's tournament? How serious should we be taking Rick Carlisle? Is he
he's been great.
Top 3 coach here left of the – I mean, we got a couple series to wrap up, but he's really – I think he outclassed the coach of the year.
Yeah, I said it with our guy Pito. I believe the Pacers are 42-16 since the first of the year. And that's only behind the Thunder, I believe, in wins. Like, they've been awesome. Carlisle has those guys dialed, and I honestly believe There was a conversation that was had a couple years ago with him and Halliburton, where Halliburton was like, "Yo, I got it. Just trust me to run this." Because the Carlisle, throughout the years, he's had to open up to being comfortable playing this wide open up and down offense.
Completely different kind of coach in that.
That's not his culture,
era.
right? I believe once Halliburton came to town, they had a conversation, and it was like, I won't turn it over, which he hasn't and which he doesn't. Very low turnover guy. Just let me get out and run a little bit, and let's see how you like it, and let's see how it works. And it's been working, and in Carlisle's credit for letting and trusting his guys to do that.
Kings in shambles. I mean, can the Kings do anything right?
Yeah.
All right, a series I got sorely mistaken. Of course, I had it with Curry in the mix, but I went down swinging. Wolves Warriors, very anticlimactic.
That means you were betting this. That means you were betting.
Oh, I mean, we're having a win off the winning Knicks game and the winning Knicks beer, and you're begging me to hedge because I had a Knicks Warriors money line lay at 7-1 that night, but I expected a lot more from Jimmy Butler. I mean, he went for under 20 in 4 of those 5. I know Curry's the emotional leader. I mean, we're talking about one of the most valuable pieces. You take him off a roster of anybody in the league still to this day. It was more than just his numbers going down, because if you look at Kuminga's, coming in minutes up production, all right, like tit for tat, they should have maybe picked off one win. It was just demoralizing in so many ways. Anything there, I guess, not much to say on the Warriors side.
Yeah.
More so your 2 cents on the Wolves moving forward. But, yeah, Wolves pack them in 4-1. Chris Finch does it again.
Year 1, Butler comes over. They play a lot better. They're a better team, but they're overall a flawed roster and aren't very deep. And they're old. So if you lose Steph, the heartbeat of everything, you're going to have a hard time playing a young, physical team like the Timberwolves. The Timberwolves are really interesting.
Yeah, I mean, let's talk it out.
Because we could leave the Warriors there. They were never going to beat them once Steph went down. But it just shows the cascading effect all this stuff has. So you go to 7 games in round 1. You need to avoid that. They have 1 day of rest. Steph shows up. They get a game 1 win, but Steph blows his hamstring.
Well, even before that, Jimmy falls on his
right.
And this starts with Thompson running into Jimmy in his tailbone. And then Steph's, look at the minutes leading up to it.
Exactly. So we talked about that too. Steph doesn't play 40 minutes back-to-back hardly ever. He runs the most he's ever run in a playoff game in Game 7 versus Houston.
Never had the hammy injury, ever.
Then he gets 1 day off, and then now they're playing a young physical team in Minnesota. He blows a hamstring. So all this stuff cascades. And as you're looking at like how things are going to break, Knicks would be better to get out in 6 and try to get rest for the Pacers, because the Pacers are going to come full throttle from the tip.
For the whole series.
That's what they're going to do. That's what they've been doing. So, yeah, you got to try to get out and take advantage of these rest spots for guys when you can.
I'd be remiss to not bring up Julius Randle.
Got to.
Triple-double, a couple of double-doubles, 11 and 12 dimes in back-to-back games 2 and 3. He clears 24 points or more in every game but one. His plus-minus, I could keep going. He's rebounding, he's diming, he's making the right basketball. It's almost Julius Randle 2.0. Knicks fans are,
he's been awesome.
It was his first playoff series shooting more than 50% for the whole series.
He played lights out. I don't think they dust him off in 5 if he doesn't have that impeccable of a series. Edwards, most of those games, Sean, wasn't even getting going until the second half. It was Julius Randle. We see many Knicks games and many first quarters where Julius comes out humming.
Second half, and Edwards is averaging almost 20 points. In the first half, he's been slow. 8 points, I believe, is the number. Julius Randle's been awesome. He's been their most consistent guy across the board in a lot of different ways.
Outrageous sentence.
I'll say this. I have a lot of money on the Thunder winning the West. If the Thunder go down, I want Julius Randle to win Western Conference MVP. He's been that good and that impactful, and has taken a lot of flack.
A lot of flack.
So, salute to Julius. The Knicks and Julius can thrive still.
Do you think the basketball gods, question for the whole room? I've pinned it on Twitter. I've inked the ticket. Timberwolves Knicks. It's not that far-fetched.
That doesn't shock me because you don't believe in the Thunder.
Yeah, of course. But I also think it's setting up like maybe I don't know, sometimes the basketball gods, you talk a little bit about
like a Julius return to the Garden.
I mean, the way you were talking about that Cubs season, this seems
imagine?
very serendipitous, Sean. I just want to bring it up to the room. I'd be remiss if I didn't.
You think Julius would rile the crowd up? You think he'd be doing this type of stuff?
I think every DOG element of Dante and Randall that they utilize on the Knicks, yeah, they're going. It's the finals. Yeah, there's no enjoyable.
That would be.
I know how the Italian's thinking. He's taking it personally, but yeah, Julius. I mean, the way Finch is talking on the podium, it's like, oh yeah, this guy got an incorrect rap for who he actually is, and we're just glad to wrap our arms around him.
Never a bad guy. He just was inconsistent.
Yeah.
I think all they've asked, Knicks fans, all they asked from Randall was be consistent.
Could you imagine if Randall goes back to, because he gets emotional because he's playing his old team, and he goes back to regular season Knicks Randall that drove so many Knicks fans ballistic? That would be fascinating.
He could be, but I'll say this: if you're watching Randall play, it's very balanced. He's getting to the rack. He's rebounding. He's shooting good shots.
He plays poised on that team too.
He's making good decisions. I don't know if that's because of the defensive help, maybe, or Ant Edwards keeping him calm on the offensive side. But he's been awesome. Salute Julius Randle. I got nothing negative to say.
Let's pivot to your OKC Thunder, and I got to give them.
What do you want to say? What do you want to talk about?
I mean, I'd give them their credit here. I think.
Oh, is that right?
Oh yeah, I don't think they're getting past many, but I do think they've grown up in this series on some level. If there's again the Super Mario reference, like they've gotten through a few levels here of tests against Bowser, which is Jokic, in a lot of ways. They really could have easily blown the Mother's Day game, which was the all-time under game. That could have been anyone's fourth quarter. SGA was I think it was 25-8-8 or 25-6-6. Yeah. He stepped up, and then again. Let's just call it what it is for about 3 quarters in OKC. 10.5 point line. If you're on the 10.5, you're relaxed. You're going, oh, Denver might steal this outright. And again, it was Lou Dort this time. But it's what you speak on. It's kind of what probably Cleveland fans are going up ballistic about. Just the role players stepping up in timely manners in pivotal spots at home. OKC in front of our eyes, I feel, is growing up. I think they needed a test like this. And not that they weren't prepared, but you are still so young. So, yeah, SGA's gotten a little pushback, but I think in these last 2 games, he's got to be given some credit. What say you?
Yeah, they came down the stretch. I think a lot of the questions you included had was, is Lou Dort going to step up in the fourth? Is Cason Wallace going to step up in the fourth? Is Isaiah Joe going to step up in the fourth? Jalen Williams is number 2. J-Dub, he's still that guy. Some may call him the number 3 behind Chet. Is he going to be able to step up and do what he's done in the playoffs? He's been really good as well. For them to close out the last couple games seems very important to the overall fabric of them winning the championship. They've now shown they can blow you out by 40. They've now shown they can win really tight games coming down the stretch against championship pedigree guys when Jokic is seemingly unstoppable in that game.
Yeah.
Michael Porter Jr. is hurt, clearly. Jamal Murray has stretches where he's really good, but you do not want to play perimeter ball against these dudes.
Yeah, the defense is just smothering.
It's
smothering defense.
It's a lot.
That's why the matchup is compelling against Minnesota, because they both play smothering. I think Minnesota's got top 5 3-point perimeter D as well. So that's an interesting matchup. Does Minnesota scare you at all? Not getting ahead. I think Denver might win Game 6, but
yeah, of course, Minnesota plays D and has a head of the snake guy that could go crazy on the perimeter. I don't know if Julius Randle, I think, would struggle against Oklahoma City Thunder. That seems like a bad matchup. Michael Conley went crazy the other night.
Michael Conley out-rebounded Jimmy Butler.
Yeah. So I think it's a bad.
Disgusting.
Anybody that has perimeter guys that need to contribute a ton, I think is always going to be trouble against Oklahoma City, and they're still big inside. Oklahoma City is a really, really tough matchup for anyone. And if they're going to play offense down the stretch like they have, I think they hit 8 straight shots to close the game.
Sean, I mean, my push.
7 or 8 straight shots to close the game against. If they're going to do that, they're going to win the title.
I mean, there's not much pushback from my end. My only main caveat is they're young and they don't play close games, and that.
But then they've just played 2 in a row, and they've come out.
That's why I think in real time their belief is hiring. Not that they didn't have it. I know. Against a defending champion team. Fresh Squeeze takes the Thunder alive and well on the Juice Bar.
Juice Bar MSG Network. If you want the realness, the straight takes, come hang out with us. We go through everything from narratives to actual gameplay to breaking down numbers in the betting market. Alex Monaco, Sean Little, come hang out with us. Wherever you get your podcasts, you can get the Juice Bar.